Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and it is now time for TBD. What is it going to be about? I don't know. That's what our hosts are going to tell us. So joining us right now, we have Adrian and Jess. Jess, hello. How you doing?
Hey, Greg, I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I am doing good. And of course, Adrian Warner. Hello, Adrian.
Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. So for TBD, what are we talking about today?
Well, this week's TBD stands for Take, Buy, Deliver because we're going to be talking about the future of food delivery and grocery shopping. It's kind of been a big week because we heard all about Amazon and the potential of them rolling out cashierless stores at Whole Foods. So I have to ask you, Greg, first, have your food habits changed since this whole pandemic? I mean, obviously things are a lot different now. Like, what have you been doing differently?
I'm not going to give specifics, but I have ordered a lot more online that I don't want to talk about. But yes, they have definitely changed.
Well, this isn't necessarily a direct correlation to the pandemic, but you know, I think it all kind of ties together in the end. So this week, the New York Post released an article that said that Amazon is going to be bringing its cashierless tech from their Go convenience stores to Whole Foods. So for those of you who may not be in the know, Amazon Go is a chain of stores and it's owned by Amazon and it has no cashiers. So they opened the first one in downtown Seattle in 2018. They're kind of like beefed up convenience stores. They've got a lot of, fresh to go options. They're really aimed at people in business centers, downtown areas and cities. And they sell a lot of to go items featuring Amazon's own labels like Happy Belly and Whole Foods 365. So since the rollout of that first store, they've opened 20 others in cities like New York City, Chicago. There's four each in San Francisco and Seattle. And their technology is interesting. It uses a hybrid of sensors using both cameras and computer vision so that when people pick things up in the store, they can just leave with them. They don't have to actually pay at at a cashier, which is really cool. Paying with cash is technically an option. There are some store clerks there. They're just not like a huge line of cashiers at the front. So, we're going to see whether or not this rumor rings true, whether Whole Foods is going to adopt this technology and go cashierless next year. Amazon did purchase Whole Foods in 2017, and since then they kind of left it unchanged, more or less. So it would make sense that this would be coming down the pipeline. However, Amazon has not commented on it or confirmed on it, and I think it just kind of makes sense, folding it into the rollout, while this pandemic is raging on, that there might be an option for even less contact when going into the grocery stores. I know that, a lot of us are opting for delivery and, pickup and things like that. Sometimes people still do want to go into the stores, but this could remove that extra, contact point. So to talk a little bit more about kind of the future of delivery on the outside of the grocery store, I'm going to hand it over to Jess.
Yeah, Adrian. So, as we're all very aware of, the pandemic has brought a surge to the contactless grocery marketplace. According to research by consulting firm Bain and Company, only about 3 or 4% of the grocery spending in the US was done online prior to this coronavirus outbreak. This number was actually behind other countries that were more early adopters for this. But then, back at the height of the pandemic, the outbreak itself, the US's online grocery sales increased as much as five-fold to between 10 to 15% of total grocery sales. So there was a huge spike here. And it's a trend that's expected to continue, right, as people settle into this new habit. They were also, of course, like different reasons why people were slow to adopt online grocery shopping, such as the fear of the unknown, right? So they've never done it before. They don't know what to expect. There's that fear too of kind of having inflated pricing and not knowing what to do there. I know for me, I'm really picky about my produce, so the idea of having someone else picking it out for me, that in the past for me would have been a bit of a barrier to entry. But now that people have gotten settled into this routine of the convenience, it's likely they'll continue. And as we know, again, a huge factor was, of course, the option for touchless delivery. Instacart's leave at my door delivery option was actually a feature designed for customers not at home for the time of delivery. But then in the first week of March, Instacart said they saw like a significant surge in both consumer adoption as well as opt-in for this particular feature. Actually, they had 25% of users opt in. So shortly thereafter, they experienced what they said is the highest consumer demand in its history in the amount of groceries sold on the platform. And then a few weeks ago, it was announced that Walmart is partnering with Instacart to offer same-day delivery starting in the US, in a few US markets, which is clearly the next step in an ongoing fight against the Amazon and Whole Foods control over the market. The partnership is currently in a pilot phase in 4 markets across California and in Oklahoma. Instacart already partners with or delivers goods from a variety of, big chains, including Aldi, Target, Costco, Kroger, and then smaller grocers as well, and as well as drugstores. But it's really this quick delivery that allows big chain grocers to compete against Amazon. If you remember back at the height, kind of the outbreak, availability of delivery and of curbside pickup, slots were slim to none. Lots of people were having to place orders and wait, a week or two to be able to have access to that. And so this partnership is another opportunity to sort of leverage the quickness and be more available to consumers. I think we'll likely continue to see this unfold as well, because as I mentioned, online grocery shopping isn't going anywhere. And companies like Amazon have really conditioned, consumers into the we want it now mentality. And they're going to continue to expect that more and more, across the board. So interesting to see again where this will go.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I want to say behind the scenes, I know both Jess and Adrian have very strong feelings about the caviar delivery service, and they kept it clean for this broadcast. So I was worried we'd have to bleep something, but thank you.
It was close, Greg.
A lot to learn
it was
about.
Close.
I know. We were dancing on the edge there.
I don't want to talk about it.
But a lot of news right there. That is great about food delivery. I know another part, though, of TBD is, of course, Kick Stop It. So what is our product today?
Yes, so this week's Kick Stop It is it sounds really cool. I don't know. It sounds like a nightmare ride to me, though. It's a VR setup for riding your bike indoors. So it's this little platform that you put your bike on, and then you also use the headset to simulate different bike rides in, various terrains that you couldn't actually go ride your bike in. So it's cool because it's a virtual world that you can take your bike anywhere in theory. To me, this really sounds like a nightmare vomit ride. I'm like, just go ride your bike outside. I don't like the idea that I can't look down and see my legs or the ground. I think that's terrible.
Nightmare vomit ride. Jess, how do you feel?
I have a lot of opinions, I guess, on this one.
Much like caviar. So I like this. I don't think this would be for necessarily strenuous exercise, but especially as we're kind of a lot of times don't have easy access to these places. And it looks like a lot of different things that are not necessarily just different fun worlds. And for me, I love VR. I love that immersive ability. So I think this is fun personally.
I would like it. I mean, I live in Oregon, and I know it rains a lot here, but I don't like to ride my bike in the rain, so I'm that guy. So I would be totally down with this for the winter, as long as there's nobody else around me. I don't like VR if I can feel like there's somebody that can sneak up on me. So that there's a few different issues I have to work out with that. But I think I would kickstart this. I'm for this.
I'm kickstarting. Yeah, I'm gonna kickstart this one.
I'm firmly in the Kick Stop It camp. I'm just going to take my bike outside. Going to avoid the dizziness.
Of course. Well, Nightmare Vomit Ride does kind of sum up your feelings on that one. So, all right, there it is. That is the Kick Stop It segment. And I know finally, of course, for TBD, we've got some Charlie Cam.
That's right. We've got Charlie Cam. We've got a Charlie doppelganger hanging out there.
Gosh.
He is really unsure how to feel about this one.
Oh,
I love the Charlie Cam. I don't know how long that's been there, but the overlay on it too. Oh, Charlie, look at him right there. Perfect way to end a Wednesday.
Peeking a little there. Thank you,
Jess, Adrian, as always, thank you. Great segment. Another edition of TBD. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you both soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.